The first thing I'm going to take a look is the back of the television, and you can see that the TCL really stands out with the wire maintenance. So you basically can run all your wires there, and then you can put this little cover over top of it and make everything look nice and clean. And I really like that design. Over here, when it comes to the inputs, it has 4 HDMIs, 2 of them are HDMI 2.1s, plus it has a separate one for eARC if you have sound bars, so you can run 2 of your gaming consoles at the same time while still having an eARC for your sound bar. When it comes to the Hisense U8H, this TV has a whole different design. It's flat all the way down, so you don't have the indentation. Plus it has a subwoofer that has some really good bass response, and I'll show you that later on in the video. Now this TV has 2 HDMI 2.0s, 2 HDMI 2.1s. However, I will tell you one of the HDMI 2.1 does share the eARC, so if you hook up 2 gaming consoles, you won't be able to have the sound bar unless you use fiber optic or something like that. And here's a look at the wire maintenance on the Hisense television. Now take a look at the remote control. This is the one that comes with the TCL. You can see on top of it, it has your home button, so you can go back to your main screen. You have your navigation keys, and then you have a microphone. But on the Roku, you can't ask it questions like you can on Google. At the bottom, you have your hotkeys like Netflix, Disney, as well as Apple TV Plus and HBO Max. You also have an application that you can download called the Roku application, where you have control of all the functions just like the main remote control. So here's a remote control that comes with the Hisense. You have your navigation as well as the voice command. You can also add different profiles to this television. On the bottom of it, you have your home key to take you back to the main screen. You have your volume, channels up and down, as well as this menu button that brings up sidebars whenever you're playing a gaming console or using any of the inputs. At the bottom, you have hotkeys like Netflix, YouTube, Tubi, Peacock, and a few more. And just like the Roku, Google has an application that you can download called Google Home. And this is the same thing you're going to use on any of your devices. And you can use the voice command, control the volume, and you can connect it to your smart applications. So you can turn it off and on just by using your voice. So now we're going to take a look at some of the different comparisons in the screen quality. And I'm using a disc called Spear and Munsell's. But to me, both of the TV looks very identical when it comes to the grayscale. And looking at this contrast test, you can see that both TVs are picking up a whole large range of different brightness from your black levels all the way down to the white levels. So at this point, they're pretty compatible. Now using this white uniformity test, one thing I can tell is that the Hisense seems a lot more white, where over here the TCL has more of a pink haze to it. There's a little bit of a netting in the corners on both TVs, but overall, they're actually doing a fairly decent job. And here's some examples of tone mapping that's going to show you how each TV perform on different levels. And standing right in the center, both TVs look pretty compatible. One thing I can notice is that the Hisense is slightly brighter, but other than that, the colors and all the tones seem identical from one television to the next. Now showing this contrast test, it looks like the Hisense has a better contrast because the smaller that box is in the center is the better levels of grayscale that the TV has. And apparently, according to what I'm seeing here live, the Hisense has a smaller box than the TCL. So here's a motion test, and I went into all the settings and see if I can find the best settings overall. And it seems like the TCL seems a lot more smoother than the Hisense. And the reason I'm saying that, if you look at this top bar, whenever something goes across it, it has a little bit of jitter on the Hisense, but I will tell you that the Hisense whites look much better than the TCLs. I did test both TVs for blooming, and it's going to be something that you're going to get on every model, especially if it's extremely bright. It's just the way it works. But you're going to see a little bit of halo around some of the images, as you can see right here. Overall, I think both TVs are doing a really good job of making sure that everything is really nice, very contrasty, and that's thanks to the full array local dimming that each model has. So now let's take a look at the viewing angles. This is the TCL. As we walk over to the side, you see that it does get a little bit washed out. And here's the Hisense television. So it actually gets a little bit more washed out. And here's from one side of the room where you can see the TCL next to the Hisense. And here's the other side of the room. And just in case you plan on mounting it up high, this is what the viewing angles look like if you're lower to the ground and the TV's up high like on a fireplace or something. Here's a glare on the TCL. And you can see there's a line kind of moving from side to side. So that's the anti-glare coating inside of this particular TV. And here we have the Hisense. In my opinion, it's actually doing a much better job. You don't see that flare that you get on the TCL. Now let's take a look at a side-by-side of HDR and SDR content. And one thing that is really obvious is that the Hisense is so much more brighter than the TCL. So in my opinion, if you used to watch a lot of movies on Netflix, 4K, Amazon 4K, Vudu, or any of those type of formats, you're definitely gonna see more details and information whenever watching dark movies like Batman or something like that. The next thing I'll show you guys is I hooked up both TVs to a computer, and it seems like the Hisense is much brighter. I also went into these picture settings. You can see I just have it on standard. There's not necessarily a picture mode, but you can go into advanced settings, go down here to the bottom, and you can actually optimize it for text for clarity optimization. So that's an option that you have if you're using a 120 hertz source on the Hisense. Now, if you go into the TCL menu, again, neither one of these have a picture mode. You can see that it's on normal TV brightness and it's on vivid mode. So as I go through all these settings, so you don't have all the options that you do have on the Hisense. But both TVs look really good on computers, but I will say that the Hisense does look better in my opinion. And here's another demonstration of what it looks like with Excel sheet pulled up. Again, both TVs actually will do a really good job if you want to use it as a computer monitor, but depends on what size you get. You want to make sure that you're kind of far away from it. You don't want to be really close, like on a desk. The last thing I'll show you guys is the operating system real quick. And the Roku operating system is a really good operating system. However, it doesn't have all the controls that you would get on the Google TV. It has features like the Apple AirPlay and HomeKit. It has a built-in media player, and you can do screen mirroring off your Android device or anything like that. The Roku also has a guest mode, and this allows people to use their own login, and when they log out, all of the information is erased, which is pretty cool. If you're a gamer, the TCL does have an automatic gaming mode, and it will optimize the TV, but there's no controls for it once that does it automatically. Now, the picture mode, you have features like gaming, dark mode, normal, brightness. But if you go down here to the bottom, there's some different features that are not available. I wish Roku and TCL will remove these options if they're not available versus showing that, because it can confuse the consumer. Now we're going to take a look at the Hisense operating system, and this is powered by Google. If you have YouTube TV, it has a built-in guide. You can look at movies, shows. You can even download tons of applications, and you can do that on the TCL as well. But one of the differences about the Google TV is that it has a whole lot more options. To give you an example, you can plug in your own Bluetooth headphones and keyboards. You can add a thumb drive to add more storage to it. There's even an ambient mode where you can use your own Google Photos. There's an art gallery, and you can have the weather and things like that to pop up on the screen. And this gives you an example of what it looks like, and it allows you to go through here and select different things like Spotify, YouTube, and anything that has to do with Google. And with the latest update, this TV also has Apple AirPlay and HomeKit. You can even hook up Alexa to this one as well. So you have all these different options that are available that's not available in the TCL. And for you gamers out there, you can hit this menu button on remote control and you have this gaming zone. And the great thing about that is you can get information that pops up on the screen to show you the hertz, if it's in HDR mode, your VOR, and auto low latency. Plus you can go in here and control the black levels, motion settings, and you do have FreeSync as well. Now I know you guys want me to choose the TCL or the Hisense, but I create these videos to keep myself non-biased and allow you to make the best decisions for yourself. But if I have some input, I would say that TCL looks very good. The Roku operating system is the limitation that this TV has. Now, don't get me wrong, I use Roku on my personal TVs, but when it comes to the full operating system, you lack the gaming zone. You also don't have the ATSC 3.0 tuner in this one. And there were some controls that you just couldn't access. On the other hand, the Hisense has the Google operating system that has a lot more controls on it. It's got the gaming center, has the voice controls, you can hook up Alexa. So it has a lot more features. So what it comes down to is which TV do you think is the best and which operating system do you guys want to move forward with? Now, as a bonus, I'm going to show you guys some side-by-side. And if you don't mind, in the comments below, tell me which TV you like and why. I'm TechSteve. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace!